Welcome to this very important lecture. And in this lecture, you will learn how to make your script interact with the user. And the user is someone which you can give your .py program and they can execute it easily. And this is done by integrating some code that makes possible the interaction with the user. So in this lecture, I'll teach you how to receive user input for your program. And then the program can process this user input. So let's build a simple function here. Let's say miles to kilometers. And this function will get miles as input, and then it will convert these miles to kilometers. So miles is the parameter, and I know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1.60934 miles. So we multiply miles with that number, and then what we want to do with the output is print it out on the screen. So print the kilometer variable. Now let's call the function the way we are used to. So miles to kilometer, and then we pass an argument here. Good, and we get an output. However, a better way to call the function to generate an output would be to integrate an input function inside the script. So the input function is the function that implements the user interaction feature. So the idea is that the input function will ask the user to enter some input, and then it will get the input entered by the user and it will pass it as an argument to the function. So this is the idea. We want to store the input that will be entered by the user in a variable. So let's say m, which stands for miles. And that will be equal to the input function, and then the input function takes an argument, which is the message that you want to show to the user. So let's say, please enter miles, and put a column there to give it a nice look, and that's it. And then what we want to do with this variable is pass it as an argument to the miles to kilometer function. So we just go ahead and call the function here, and pass the m variable as an argument. So that's it. Let's go ahead and run this program now. Good. So the program is asking us to enter a value for the miles. I'll go ahead and type in 100 here and press enter, and we get an error. So why do we get an error? We're getting an error because Python is trying to multiply a string with a float number. So we enter 100, which is seemingly a number, but however the input function reads everything that you pass to it. It reads it as a string. So in this case it gets the number 100 and converts it to a string, and then it passes it to the function. So that's why we get an error. So we want to convert this given input from the user from a string to a float type. To do that, you just go ahead and type m equals float m. So what this does is it just gets the current value of m and converts it to a float data type. Now let's go ahead and run the program. Okay, we're asked to enter the miles. Let's say 100. And we get the output. So this is the idea of the user interaction. The program asks the user to enter some input, and then it gets the input and generates the output. Now we can polish the program even more. We can print out a kilometer string beside the value, just like this. So we add a comma and a string. So the print function will print out two values here. We execute the program again and enter some miles. And in this case you get a value and a label. One last thing I wanted to show to you is that you don't have to use Spider for executing a program. You can also execute a program using your command line. To do that, you should type the program which you want to execute the program with. Okay, so the program is Python, and then the Python program you want to execute is a .py script. So you enter the path of your .py script, okay, and press enter. And then as a user you just follow the instructions of the program and you finally get the output. So that's how you can interact with the user and get the user input and process it in your programs. Talk to you in the next lecture.